Okay, let's jump right into it. Fantasy Football Friday here from Boys Town. We're doing a couple quick takes here on a couple of the teams around the league and wanted to take a look first at the Dream Fighters. They're 5-0 going into week 6. This is where it all happens. People around the league, general managers around the league, have questioned whether this team is deep enough and strong enough to survive through the bye week series. So, looking around the team, you've got Roethlisberger, the only eligible quarterback to start, coming off 5 touchdown game. So, excuse me, he is obviously who they're going to look to. He's facing a middle-of-the-road Jacksonville team. Not a lot of concern there. Should be pretty solid. What you are concerned about, though, is the wide receivers there. Jacksonville is number 3 in the NFL against fantasy wide receivers. So you might want to take a look at that. But you've got Mike Wallace. You're starting Mike Wallace every week. Hines Ward, the guy that won't go away. 3 touchdowns last week. 2 touchdowns, I apologize, last week. He just won't go away. You think Antonio Brown's going to come in, take over the role. Hines Ward still ends up with over 20 fantasy points. So he's a guy to always keep in mind. Calvin Johnson, what can you say? Fantasy MVP. Doesn't even need to practice every day. Not going to do the Allen Iverson here, but he's been great. You roll with him. As good as the 49ers have been defensively, still middle of the road against the wide receivers. So no matchup that you'd be too concerned about Calvin Johnson. Last guy I want to take a look at is Rob Gronkowski. He battled flu-like symptoms last week. So am I overly concerned about lack of production? No, but then you look back the week before, a little bit of a drop-off, and you do have Aaron Hernandez back. Does that open things up for Gronkowski? Yet to be seen. Dallas tough against the tight end, so this could be a week where we really determine what Gronkowski's true value is. This is a tough week for the Dream Fighters. They lose Julio Jones for the week, which is tough, especially given that they've got a few guys on the bye. I did want to note Mike Tolbert, who's been talked about in trades. Mike Tolbert is the number 3 running back in terms of targets, passing targets. So something to look out for in the future, especially in a PPR league. If there's ever a week to catch the Dream Fighters, this is it. But they have been great, 5-0, putting up the third most fantasy points in the league. So it'll be interesting.